gostaria aqui de chamar agora o professor Georgios Korellis, que é da Cyprus National Olympic Committee, para nos falar um pouco sobre a inovação na liderança, né? Innovative Leadership, High Performing Teams in Sports Entities. Então, please, Professor Georgios, come here to give your talk to us. Thank you so much. Very popular, Professor Georgios. Really good.
Thank you. So we'll move next slide. Yes. Thank you. So before I start with the presentation, I would like to extend a warm thank you to the University, Rio de Janeiro State University, for hosting this event, and especially Dr. Bianca Gamabena for the kind invitation to present my thoughts and ideas on the topic of innovative leadership and building high-performing teams. But also, please, a round of applause to the translators who are doing such a great job, especially keeping up with the pace of Dr. Bianca and the passion. That was amazing, so fast. So, as I'm the last presenter, I would like to start with a quiz game. So, yeah, it's going to be just one question. We're going to have just one winner. And the winner going to get a prize, a special prize from Cyprus. It's a, where's the prize? Okay. So it's going to be a polo shirt, an official polo shirt of the Olympic team of Cyprus at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. There you go. So, the question is, who is the man in the picture? What is the name? Simple as that. Okay, I have a clue. He's somehow related to this lady here. So she's Princess Isabel of Brazil. The name of the man? No? Okay, one last clue. I really want to give the t-shirt out. They're both related somehow to Christ the Redeemer, to this beautiful monument. Who is the person in the picture? Okay, I get to keep the t-shirt. All right. So, it's French priest, Father Pierre-Marie Bosse, 1859, he came to Brazil. He was at the Botafogo area, and he saw the Corcovado, and he said, okay, I want to have Christ overwatching Rio, and I want that to be done. He even shared this innovative idea with Princess Isabel. She embraced the idea at the time, but unfortunately, 1889, with the proclamation of the Republic, the state and the church was separated, and the project failed. It never started, never took off. And here where the true innovative leadership comes into play. 1921, the princess dies, and the leader of the Catholic circle, General Pedro Carolino Pinto, revisited the idea. And he assembled a diverse team of professionals, structures, designers, architects from all different places, different countries in the world, Paris, France, Poland, Romania. And surely enough, 1931, a 30-meter statue monument of Christ the Redeemer was inaugurated. So if that does not qualify as innovative leadership more than 100 years ago, I don't know what does. But let's come to the present. What does usually what's usually the case when an individual assumes a leadership position? First thing, decides what type of style, leadership style, he wants to adopt. So should I be a little bit more authoritarian? It's my way or the highway, or maybe democratic, open the space for some opinions and some ideas, or maybe more of laissez-faire, let it be, it is what it is. But the question is, why should you even choose from a style? Why not you create your style, your unique, very own style, based on your team, based on their needs, their goals, and drive with that type of approach and power? As a matter of fact, there is one emerging leadership style, is innovative leadership, and does exactly that. But before we move on, let's define what innovative leadership is. There are many, many definitions on that, so I chose the most maybe relevant to the situation. So it's about introducing something new to solve current problems and satisfy people's needs at the present, at the future. That could be an idea, a methodology, a process, a procedure. And the qualities in common for innovative leaderships is the knowledge of leadership, is the skills, is the values, all these deeper senses that drive them towards identifying the challenges and solving them. As a matter of fact, Hal Gregersen was a former executive director for the MIT Leadership Center, interviewed more than 100 innovative leaders. And what he saw is that they all shared similar patterns of behaviors. Let's see, they were more challenging status quo. They were not accepting things as to how it is and why it is the way it is. And they were asking provocative questions, steering waters, observing people, interacting with people that, especially people that share different ideas and perceptions of them, so that this daily practice, day in, day out, helps them create this innovative insight and innovative perspective about doing things differently. How many of you know Simon Sinek? Yeah, he's an author. He's an American author, well established on leadership. And what he proposes and what he suggests is that, and what he explains is that usually what's the case is that leaders, when they start leading, they start with the outside and they go to inside. They start with, teaching their teams or explaining their teams what it is that the corporation is doing, what products they sell, what services they sell, and then they're moving how they sell it, how is the differentiating factor, and what is the differentiating point of the product, and if some of them manage to reach also why it is that they do what they do, fair enough. Well, although definitely it's a sound concept, especially for the cases of the sport entities, I would propose another circle. I would also propose to add philosophy, even deeper, even before the why. And by philosophy, I mean the deeper sense of the system, of the thoughts of each individual. And as a leader, as a future leader, as innovative leaders, you need to start with the philosophy, especially, and we are in the Olympic movement. The Olympic movement, the philosophy is there, is given to us. It's Olympism. We have the values, we have the ideals. Let's start from there. We've heard before from the presenters the complexity of the system, the challenges in the governance, how difficult it is to manage the multiple stakeholders, the need for protecting our most valuable assets. This cannot be addressed with the traditional forms of leadership. This cannot be addressed just by managing people and trying to go from point A to point B and instruct them and manage them. You need a different approach. You need a more collective approach, you need to empower people in order to create high-performing teams. Other than that, it's fine. You can still manage people and get the job done as basic as you want. But in order to have reached that level, you need to be more collective, more integrative. There are so many multifactorial issues nowadays that we face in this new era as presented before, where you need a more inclusive approach. But unfortunately, that is not enough if you want to create a high-performance team. There's an excellent book by Patrick Lencioni, The 5 Dysfunctions of Team, where he actually presents a really nice concept about building a high-performing team, and he suggests that everything starts from trust. So an innovative leader communicates the values that drive the behaviors, which build the culture, which leads to high performance. So the values and the philosophy needs to be present. The behavior is driven by the value and the deeper sense of why we do what we do. And this daily practice of the behavior essentially, eventually, will lead to the culture. And the culture in an organization will lead to the high performance. So trust among the team members should be present if you want to have a team that has a chance of getting into a high performance level. And by saying trust, we don't mean the predictive type of trust where, I trust that you will send me the email by the deadline because you always do that, or I trust that you will come to the meeting at 8 o'clock as we said because you always do that. I'm talking about a more trust in a way that you stand out in front of your team and you say, it was my mistake. I should have known better. You could have done it better. My apologies, I need your help. So in order to do that and be able, as an innovative leader, to inspire the team, to be able to address everybody in the team in this way, you need to start working from the ground. Because common, especially not only in sports organizations, but it's a type of culture, backstabbing among team members, it's common. And if I know that I will go out and say, yes, sorry, it's my mistake, and the next day my colleague will go to the director and say, oh, who is this clown? I mean, he always says, he makes mistake. He always says that he will lead and he does not. He will send it and he does not, because he said yesterday it was his mistake. But if you have this type of culture, then you cannot proceed to the second level, which is the conflict among the team. And you may be asking why my team should have conflict. I want more of a harmonious type of relationship. And I'm not talking about the destructive conflict. I'm talking about the conflict that is productive. Because if I trust that I will stand out, admit maybe my mistake, and then offer a suggestion, because I will say, okay, you have a good idea, but I kind of disagree, then that will lead to a brainstorming and come up with innovative ways to deal with the problem. But if I don't have the sense of trust in you, that you will listen to me in a genuine fashion and manner, I will not bother to raise the disagreement. I will say, okay, whatever, do it. And if I say that, I cannot commit. Why should I commit to something that anyway I don't agree with? Why should I commit to something that it's out of my belief system? And I didn't do that because I didn't trust that if I did that, you would have heard me genuinely and approve or have a genuine conversation. And if I don't commit, I cannot be accountable. I cannot feel the sense of accountability. And at the end of the day, the attention to collective team results is just not there. So without trust, there is no ground for conflict, a conflict which leads to commitment, a commitment towards the common goal, and the need for accountability, which leads to attention to team results. And I would like to close with an innovative take-home message, an innovative idea. How many of you know SMART goal system? The concept, yeah, it's been taught around the world in every business school. I know it's very popular, but as I said, it's an innovative idea. Don't rush to choke my neck on that. So this has been around since the 50s by an American consultant working in an American environment. And it was at the time where, the system wanted people to be online, not to step over the line, just follow directions, a more managerial type of approach, a more of transactional type of leadership and command leadership, and I say you do. And I was wondering if there was a better way to do things rather than just using the SMART goal system. So the innovative take-home message could be, forget the SMART goals, yes, and let's set some dumb goals, yes? Okay, yes, goals that are dream-driven, that are uplifting, that are method-friendly and behavior-driven. Because if you're leading a team with no inspiration, with no dream, with no sense of feeling good, having a passion for doing what you're doing, then why bother even think that you will be working innovatively towards a goal? I guess SMART goals, of course, they have the place for short-term objectives maybe, and some project management or project deliverables. But the big idea here is to create something, inspire your team, get your team work and think on a different level. We went to the moon. We have Colosseum. I don't see anything smart about that. So many 100 years ago. Well, I guess we wouldn't have those if we're thinking being specific and measurable and attainable. What is the realistic behind going to the moon anyway? About this goal, yes? It's dream-driven. It was something that inspired the whole team to work towards a goal. And just a final note, I believe this is the time, and we live in a time that we should dream. And this is not the time to be afraid of taking up new challenges and accepting dream-driven goals. And lucky you, Brazilians, lucky you, you wake up every day and you have Christ himself reminding you of that. Thank you very much.